Hello everyone, how are you today? Calm down. Okay, so this setup, my phone is like all the way up there. I can't even reach it, but it's working. How's the volume? Do I need to turn it up a little? Let me know before we get started, please. All right, let's let everyone join in. Let's turn it up a little bit. Thank you for that. All right, so let's explain what we have going on here. Turn that decay down a little bit. So I guess I would call this the final version of my case, if there's ever such a thing. But I'm pretty pleased with it. I'm very pleased with almost every module in this case. I cannot, yeah, it's been a minute. It's been about a year since my last case overview. I'm probably gonna do one of those later on. Today we're just gonna be looking at making some music with the Modular, the Keystep Pro bass bottle here that hasn't been out for a while, and I also have the Yamaha Montage plugged up in the back that you guys can't see it from here, but it's there, believe me. Alright, so I turned the music down for a minute just so I could explain to you guys what's going on here. So I actually am not sequencing with the Keystep Pro my modular. So like the Keystep Pro is sequencing the montage on track 3 and the bass bot on track 4. I have that one muted right now. There is a sequence on it, as you can see by the buttons, by the lights I mean. Alright, so what is giving us those little plucky sounds is actually the Variegate 4 Plus. We're getting sounds from Plonk and from Rings. Plonk is going into the stereo delay. No, I'm sorry, no. Plonk is going into the Dreadbox Echo, and straight from that into Clouds, out of Clouds into the Blackwell DSP, and finally into our mixer. So Plonk is going through a few things right now. Everything is down except Clouds, so we will bring those in later, and cool stuff like this will happen. But we'll look at that more later. Alright, and then Rings is actually going into the black stereo delay. I normally always have my Rings with my Clouds, because, you know, gotta be stereotypical, I guess. And, but this time it's going into the black stereo delay, and straight from that to the mixer. I don't have anything on the Morphogene right now. I really want to load like some vocal, I don't know, like Alan Watts type vocal samples on it. I need to do that soon. And then the Squid sample, we have it on preset 14, which is the MFB 522. Alright, and I guess that's it right now too. So for tracks, for these drums I mean, you see that the LEDs aren't lighting up because I don't have anything activated. Once we turn on some drums, they shall come on. So let's let everyone join in. How are you guys? How is everyone doing in your side of the nook of the world? How is it? Nook of the woods? I'm not an English speaker, just FYI. Alright, so let's just get started. Alright, what a nice way to start the stream. How are you guys? Thank you for joining. Hi from Denmark. Hello, Macrindk. I'm sorry. How are you guys? Flexing on us with a TB303. Nah, dude, this is the Cyclone. This is a clone, but that was definitely more expensive than the Behringer ones that are coming out. I'm not sure how those are. I mean, a 303 sounds like a 303, but I would much rather have this one than, I don't know, I love this. This is my favorite one. But it has been kind of like crapping out on me. Like, I haven't turned it on in a while, and when I did, you know, these were kind of noisy. And then the output works sometimes it doesn't. Hopefully it does this time. But this is my baby, so it's not going anywhere. Over here we have the Strymon Big Sky, the Iridium, which is actually meant to be, you know, for guitar, but it's a drive, or, you know, it's like an amp. It's like an amp and a pedal, which is nice. Definitely works great on guitar, and it works great on the bass line as well. Let's listen to this bass line. See what we got going on here. that was fun. So I actually started this patch before, I think I started it like last night. I'm waiting for my new laptop to arrive. I don't have like a laptop in this area, so I haven't really been able to record. This is probably not gonna get recorded, sadly, because I'm feeling it. It's, you know, it's sounding good. I haven't messed with the cycler in a minute, but God, this thing sounds so good. It's a specific sound, you know, like I understand not everybody likes that acid sound, but it always like fits so nicely in a mix, especially if you run it through like some effects. You guys might have noticed, so like I'm getting a lot of questions on the Keystep Pro, and you guys might have noticed that when I did that, the last beat repeat I did, it caught off some of those MIDI notes coming back in. So that's an issue, you know, hopefully it'll get resolved with software updates, but you know, we're waiting on that. Besides that, it's very linear, you know. I mean, you do have the scales, and you know, you have the patterns of the arps, and you can randomize the sequence and all that stuff, but overall it's a very linear sequencer, you know. It's not like a Variegate 4 Plus, like it's very structured, you know. You got track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4, and you got this piano, so like I feel like all instruments with a keyboard kind of work. I don't know, I feel like it activates a different part of my brain when I'm using my modular sequencer, and this just gets a little more, I wouldn't say theoretical because I'm not really like very theory oriented, but I feel like when I'm writing like this and when I'm writing like this, I'm activating a different part of my brain, if that makes any sense. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. The Behringer one is fantastic. I think you're assuming to the 303. I have to try it out. I mean, I'm sure it is. Are you sequencing the bass spot with the Keystep Pro from the bass? I am. Yes, I am sequencing. So like, for those of you that just joined, I am sequencing the modular with the Variegate 4 Plus, and I am sequencing the bass spot. I just turned the volume down. We'll turn it back up. We have that going through so much reverb. That's without the reverb, just going through that. And without this, the volume is so low. Okay, and then on track 3, I have my montage. Trying to figure out, make that a little louder. I was thinking of like picking up like a desktop synth so I could, you know, so I don't have to use my montage, but then I'm like, why? Why? Like, there's no need to pick up another synth. I mean, there's always a want, but never a need. It's working right now. With the montage, it makes sense. It's right there, and besides, sounds glorious. That's my favorite. We'll just leave it on that. But that's totally out of, I feel like all the jazz just turns into lo-fi, and then as soon as I start using like one of these electronic machines, I just start making like acid and techno. I love how like the instruments that you use influence the music that you make, or vice versa. Are machines using us? Alright, so let's go ahead and I think we're just gonna start something from scratch. I am going to, let's see. Oh, okay, so let me explain the how this is set up. So I have the drum gates going into the squid sample. There's 8 drums, 8 gates. 8 gates, 8 drums. I'm clocking the modular, so like my whole system, or pretty much the Variegate 4 Plus, which is what controls my system. I'm clocking that straight with a patch cable out of the Keystep Pro into the Variegate 4 Plus. The Variegate 4 Plus, if it's plugged into the same like power rack, these will sync each other, so you don't really have to patch them up together. So if I press play here, this is gonna start playing, right? And if I press play here, I'm controlling that, right? Okay. What else? MIDI out is going into a quadro through, which I've explained what those are in previous videos. It's pretty much like this little box that divides MIDI up for you. That is going into the bass spot and into the montage. It has 2 more slots in there, so I could technically sequence 2 more synths. I just don't really have any more synths to sequence. But yeah, overall it's a pretty cool setup. I was using the Keystep Pro to sequence like plonk and rings, but I don't really like having that linearity. Like, I get linearity with pretty much every other synthesizer. I don't want it with my modular synth. Like, I like my modular synth to be a little different. So I later just decided, hey, I'm just gonna keep using the Variegate 4 and free up these tracks to sequence other things. I am though sequencing the drums with the Keystep Pro because sequencing drums in modular is kind of a pain. I was trying out the Variegate 8 Plus, but I ended up not keeping it very long because I just don't want to expand this case. I don't want to add another case. So like, if you guys saw a picture that I said that like I've been lying to you guys, I never got rid of my case. It's true. It's just been sitting in my closet. Like, I have this empty blue 9U, 84 HP case. It's just sitting in my closet. I thought about bringing it out and putting some more modules in it. But I went against it because, you know, it just makes more sense to do it this way. So if I weren't using this, I could still use this modular setup. I could use the Steppy to send gates to the squid, but then I would be missing out on these last 4 sounds. And these last 3 sounds, they have knobs. I kind of wish they would have added knobs on all of them, but then it would have made it bigger. I also kind of wish that they would make a squid mini, like, you know, it would make sense, like, you know, I got the 4 outs right here, 4 gates right there. It would just be cool to see somebody do that. You know, just like a basic drum machine in like, what, 10 HP? That would be fantastic. Take note, people. Yeah, but I feel like the Keystep Pro works very well with the modular. I mean, it's got all the outs, and it also works great with other things, but I feel like, I mean, it just came out. It's not even out yet, I don't think, is it? Like, people are still pre-ordering it and waiting for it. So I'm hoping, you know, they fix all the little, like, missteps and stuff like that, because it seems powerful. It seems like a fun machine to use. Alright, so let's go ahead and start off a fresh project. Why not? So we're going to go to project, load project 3, project loaded, empty project, right? Okay, I'm going to just run the sequence, and I'm going to, whoa, see where all that's coming from. Lower down our tempo a bit, bring up our volume, maybe switch up some settings on rings, not that. Figure out what scale we're in. See what happened here? I'm in the sequencer. So we got sequencer for this gate out, but then we have to be on drum if we want to use the 8 gates. So here we go. let's record that. Turn our metronome on. Nope. Dope. Let's record that. All right. Well, that was fun. I'm still like trying to get used to using the Keystep Pro for drums. I feel like, I mean, obviously a drum machine I would preferably have a standalone drum machine. But it is nice to have everything on here. A thing that I would like to see though is to be able to, I don't know, input my drums like this way, you know, right? Instead of having to use the keys because it's like and then the sequencer doesn't move. So like for example, or like the scale doesn't move. So like let's say I want to drum over here, even if I move the octaves, I can't. Like it's got to be here. So like I have my setup over here, and I would have to be doing something here, because if it's over here, then it's, you know, it's usable for drums. I'm not gonna say it's not, because obviously we're making music with it, but preferably I think I would like to have a drum machine and just use this for melodic stuff. But this just kind of like changes the whole game, because everything that is getting MIDI from this is going to be affected by this test strip. So like this is going to be affected, the montage is going to be affected. So, you know, that's fun. But yeah, alright, let's see what you guys are saying. Hello to those that are just now joining. Hello Cuckoo, how are you? Thanks for joining. Let's see, what case is this? This is the IntelliJ 7U, the 84 HP, the smaller one. I hate trying to live record step sequencers. Yes, it is kind of a pain. I feel like the response of recording, like I'll record something and it won't get that first note, or you know, it'll get two notes together. So I feel like that definitely needs to improve on it. I feel like I'm working around it right now. Yeah, the squid goes well with it, definitely, because we have the 8 outs that go into the squid, so that's a lot of fun. And then, you know, you could also sequence everything, like from here, for those of you that are not familiar with this is the Keystep Pro, which is the sequencer that just came out by Arturia. We can sequence 4, like, you know, sets of CV and gate to sequence, like, pretty much 4 Eurorack voices or any other synth that has pitch and gate. The bass has CV and gate, but these are actually outputs. It would be amazing to be able to do it, but I mean, right now it's not even really necessary because it has MIDI, so it's like we don't really go through those things anymore. I feel like people went through connection problems a lot more than we did now. Like, you know, electronic connections. So let's actually see what else is on here. Very messy. Let's go ahead and start a new one. New project. Whoops. Exit. Project. Load. There we go. We got a brand new project. Alright, so a lot of stuff going on in the Eurorack. Slow that down a bit. Let's see what we're gonna do. I don't even know what scale we're in. Let's figure that out first. I also feel like if I'm using a drum sequencer, I feel like drums, I don't know, like, I know I'm gonna get some backlash from this, but I feel like drum machines have no soul. After like using the SP404 for so long and like, you know, sampling drums, I don't know, I have a different like connection with when it's just like inputting steps like this. I feel like when I'm inputting steps, like that's just gonna be 4 on the floor, you know? Like, there's nothing I can do about that. And we're not even on that. Another thing that I'm not like super happy about, hopefully they fix it, is the fact that maybe there is a way, but maybe I don't know it. If you guys know it, and you have this, let me know. I can't select the sound without making it make a sound. So like right now we were on here. You saw that I put the steps, you know. I wanted to be on here, but I didn't want to hear that kick. It would be nice if I could do like shift and something, but if I do shift and this note, it's gonna activate all these settings over here in the blue, so we can't really do that. there's an arp hole, unfortunately. But we can change the octave actually. Let's see how high it goes. Here we go. And kind of off. Let's do 2. Unfortunately, we can't record the ARP, so like that is definitely one of my biggest, like, I wish I could record this ARP, because like on the OPC sequencer, like you can record everything. It's amazing. The OPC sequencer is amazing. Every manufacturer should take note from the OPC sequencer. Like I would be able to record this ARP, you know, I would just press record, do my ARP, and then the ARP would be recorded as a sequence. But here it is like, it's separate button. I'm not sure if that was necessary. But then also it kind of frees up. So like let's say I could do a sequence, right? And then I could do the ARP like separately. But the ARP doesn't run while nothing is playing, just in case, you know, you're like, why isn't my ARP running? That's why. So I wish we could record that so I could like, you know, tweak over here, but it'll have to be like this. Sadly. Okay, so I guess we can't really do that, so let's do something else because we can't record that and move on. So simple, let's do that. To be able to press record and be ready for that next bar, but if I do that, watch. It's gonna turn off. It won't even change. So in order for us to, you know, build a song like live, I guess it's not really made for like looping type stuff. But it's more like set and go type stuff, you know, like make stuff. I guess you could do stuff live with the pads and stuff, but it's mostly, it works best I think like for pre-programming. Here we can do this, something else. Alright, so the metronome won't work. I mean the counting won't work unless the metronome is off. And even then, like the metronome doesn't hit that first note. Like it's not right at the 4. You hear it? Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. It's like not right at it. So I forgot to expand our pattern. And I'm gonna try something, but I don't think it's gonna work because we only have 64 steps. So like there's a trick that I use to like, you know, give myself more steps, but not really. It's the time division. I mean, if you're just now starting, you might be like, what is this? 1/4, 1/8, what is all this? So it pretty much like makes things slower. Like it gives us more space, but then it might cut our notes. Like again, the OPC was amazing at keeping all the notes like to the left and to the right of whatever that note I was picking, but sometimes if I go too low and try to cheat, like, okay, I'm gonna get all these steps, no, it's not true because they're divided smaller. So let's try it and see what happens just so you guys can see. So let's say, for example, I'm gonna put it on 1/8, now it's gonna move slower. You see that? So now I should be able to do our 4 bars of that. But I highly doubt that it's gonna sound like how I'm recording it. It might, you never know. Let's try it. Turn quantize on. To turn quantize on, off, on. Let's do it on. Definitely not what we just recorded. So you know, you can't really use that time division trick for stuff like that. So let's just keep it on the 32, or what was it, 16, and try it that way. Damn it, I forgot to extend the steps. But what's really cool about this device is that once you figure out, like, you know, where everything is, it's very like muscle memory demanding. So it's not like menus. I don't have to be. I honestly have pulled up the menu maybe like 3 times, and that's to like mess with other MIDI settings and stuff. But I feel like it's very immediate. Like sometimes I would even be like making a song, and it's like, oh, I want to add more steps. You know, just do that while the song is playing, clear, and then we're ready to go once this starts. So it's very immediate, I feel. Here we go. Better. Then we can add another drum pattern, so did you notice how like it didn't play that first part of the beat? You know, it's little things like that that's like, please fix that. Alright, hi guys, thank you for joining. Let me talk to you guys for a minute, answer some of your questions about this setup. So let's see, where did I leave off? Our hold should be standard. Let's see, actually, because I did read that. This guy, who was it? Who said this? It does. Someone said it does have ARP latch. Window licker 808. Window licker 808. Let's see. Let's see. Let's. Where are we? Oh, you're right. Okay, so I'm sorry for spreading false information. It does have an ARP hold. As you can see, I have not messed with this as much as I should have. But hey, this is not a tutorial. We're learning as we go. So I guess we do have that ARP hold. But the ARP still needs to be running to hear the ARP. Which is, I'm not sure if that's how it was on the OPZ or not. I'm kind of comparing it to the OPZ because the workflow is kind of similar. I feel like they took a lot of note from that sequencer. Yep, that's our call. Well, that's good to know, guys. So yes, there is an ARP hold. I'm sorry for that. But I don't think you can record it. Okay, so I know that much. I know that I'm not mistaken on that. You can't record this ARP. We can try. See? You can't record it. Unless I'm going crazy. Let's do one step. No, you can't record it. That's playing that sequence. See? Nothing changes here, so you can't record that ARP. I talked to the developer, hopefully, or one of the developers. Hopefully, you know, I told him about that. He said that would be a cool feature. They will look into it. Let's see. Hi everyone, how are you doing? Did you guys have any questions about this setup? Let me know before I start jamming again. Can you still transpose the whole art pattern? I believe so. I need to figure out how to do that. But yeah, okay, let's see. I feel like acid can definitely take over and everything just becomes acid. Let's load up a different Plonk preset. I hate not having more control over these drums, because I mean, I don't have like control over decay, attack, or none of that, because it's just samples. So I definitely feel like I need a drum machine in this setup, but it's just so convenient, like with the squid, having it there. I just wish that I had more, you know, controls. I've also been looking at like the Black Noir by, what's that company called? You guys know what I'm talking about, that company that makes the gold, like the whole gold setup or whatever, gold system, something terminal, I don't remember. Anyways, they have a similar drum sequencer. I really wanted to try that one now, just because I do like control over my drums. Like I feel like that hat feels so dry. There's really not much I can do to it. It's cool though, cause like if you have more gear, you know, you can send the outs of these drums into something else. But then like that's extra stuff, you know. I've also been considering for like the 20th time a Digitac. I've had a Digitac before, and it's just never the right time. Like, you know, I've had it when I had the Octatrack, I had it when I had something else going on. It just never really made sense. But I feel like for drums, the Digitac is amazing because you can add all those effects. Like, you know, here we have the outs. So yes, we have 4 outs: 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6. 1 and 2 together doesn't really make sense to me because, like, if I want to send, let's say, my kick through a delay, now I have to send my snare through the delay as well. But with Digitac, you don't even need anything extra. Like, it's all there. You can add delay, reverb, whatever. You can like edit the drums so much on the Digitac compared to something like this. So I'm not sure if that's gonna stay or not, but we'll see. But I've been having a lot of fun with the setup, honestly. I feel like the Keystep Pro makes it a lot more structured. Not only just for drums, like I feel like I barely used it in this video for, you know, beat making. It's kind of like the brain. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. It's like controlling everything. But I do like my Variegated 4 Plus. Like, I just love interacting with my modular in this way. But yeah, welcome to those that are just now joining. TR8, I have been thinking of getting an OG TR8 just because, like, I felt like the OG TR8 was probably the best TR8. I tried the TR8S for a minute. It was cool, but I felt pretty menu divey. I feel like I like my drums to just be, you know, I want them to be there, and that was kind of like my problem with the Digitac too, that it's like a sampler, so you're the one that has to feed it the drums, and I'm not very like organized when it comes to file management. Hopefully that will change once I get my laptop that I'm waiting on, to be able to have like all my music stuff in one place. But definitely considering the Digitac. I don't know about the TR8S. The TR8, the OG TR8 was dope though. Real talk, what's the total cost of all these modules minus the case? Well, you gotta count the case, man. The case is like just as expensive as the modules. Alright, so let's see. Off the top of my head, I can try. You do the math because I'm not a math person. This is probably like, what, 250, 300? You know, I'm talking about used prices probably. If you're gonna buy everything new, it would be way more expensive. Around 300 bucks. I think around 300 bucks as well. This is probably less than 100 bucks, and I love this delay. This is one of my favorite delays. The Black Hole DSP, like around 250. 100 bucks, 100 something, 200 something, 200 something. This is expensive. This is like 500 bucks. This one's also like $4.99, $4.50 probably. Up here is 200, probably like 60 bucks. I think one something. And I paid 60 bucks for that little thing over there. And this little USB thing was 15 bucks, I think, or 25. Overall, it's pretty expensive, okay? It's expensive. Trust me, I think about it all the time. I'm like, you know, what if I sold off all these modules and just got me like a nice Prophet 6 or a Novi 6 or maybe save up for a Moog 1? That's never gonna happen. But I do think about it. So there's that. But then once I turn it on, it's such a different way of interacting with an instrument that it's like, there's nothing else in the studio like it, you know, like in my studio at least. Adamski A. I asked a question earlier with regards to the Keystep gate mode. Can I retrigger when you have a key held down on the same channel? Honestly, I'm not really here to answer a lot of questions about the Keystep regarding like technical stuff, because like I haven't messed with it as much as I would have liked to, and there's still a lot of things that happen that shouldn't happen, you know. But yeah, so I don't know what to tell you there. You're gonna have to wait till I make like a more in-depth tutorial if I decide to do one, because I mean, like I said, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep interacting with my modular in this way. Although it has been fun sequencing that. Um, if I'll just buy it all again. If I sell it, I'll probably, you know. But you come back knowing a little more, right? I've sold and bought so much stuff, but honestly, I barely regret what I buy and sell. Like it always works out, you know. Sometimes it wasn't the right time for it. Like with my OB6, it just never felt right because it was so expensive, and I have other stuff going on. It just never felt right owning such an expensive synth at the time. Now that things are changing, you know, maybe I could, I don't know, figure something else out. But I am like gassing for like a analog polyphonic synth, because I don't have I don't have any analog synths in my studio. The only like main synth that I have is the Yamaha Montage, and that's amazing, but that's more like a workstation. It has a lot of cool sounds like the piano and bass, but not like very tweakable, and I want something with like full-size keys. But I mean, I like where this is headed. I definitely appreciate seeing companies like giving people what they want, because like, you know, this, I think this sequencer has been in a lot of people's minds. You know, like we wanted to see an updated version of the Keystep, kind of like a Keystep Pro. People have been asking for the Keystep Pro before we even knew it existed. So I'm glad that Arturia took the initiative to, you know, listen to customers like soon, because, you know, how long ago did the Keystep Pro come out? It wasn't that long ago. I like companies that are innovative, but like I said, it still has a few quirks that need to be figured out. I honestly feel it's just like software stuff that should be updated with a software update. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you for joining. It was great seeing you guys on the comments. Hopefully we'll do this again sometime soon. I'm waiting for like school to start so my daughter can go back to school and my husband can go back to work, and I can finally have some time by myself to focus on some music stuff at least. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. I hope you guys are doing well with all this crazy COVID stuff, and you know it's crazy how many people have died. It just really makes you think, like, you know, what are you doing? Are you happy doing what you're doing? Are you ready to go if you have to go tomorrow, you know? Like, it really makes you think about that type of stuff. But yeah, that's it, guys. If you like these videos and want to continue, see me succeed in this field, you know, in teaching and all this stuff, please consider checking out Patreon. That's kind of how I'm trying to make a living as an artist. You can also check out my shirts. I do art, and I draw, and I make cool like synthesizer designs. You can check that. All that is going to be in the links below. And if you do buy anything with the links below, I get a small commission. So if you do that, if you're going to do that. But yeah, guys, that's it. I hope you stay fresh. Let me take this camera off of this thing. It's like super... Yeah. So yeah, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.